Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. This is going to be a general reading for the month of May for the sign of Taurus. Hello, Taurus. How are you guys doing? Hope everything is going well for you. Hope everything is peachy, peachy, peachy. Right off the bat, I want to wish you guys a happy birthday for those of you born in May. A few of you had your birthdays in April, so happy belated to you, and those who are coming up in May. Hope you have wonderful birthdays. Hope it's full of love and peacefulness and just general all-around fun and festivities for you guys. And of course, I hope you're surrounded by people who love and care for you. So yeah, these are going to be, again, your general messages for the month of May. Hope they resonate with you. If they do, go ahead and hit that like button and comment below. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you think you might want to be, go ahead and hit that button as well. And you're going to find in the description box, you're going to find information on getting a personal reading with me. If it interests you, you're going to find the information and steps that you need to take in order to make that happen. And additionally, if you're not interested in seeing tarot readers shuffle their cards on camera, you can go ahead and check the description box as well. There will be a timestamp that will take you directly to the reading when I begin. So, again, Taurus, I want to again wish you that happy birthday. I did meditate with this deck with your energy previously to hitting the record button. Just going to get into it again. And I'm going to shuffle. Like for real shuffle. This is just like a, hey, where's Taurus's energy that I do here? And once I do that, we're going to lay the spread and then we're going to read the spread. Okay? There it is. Okay. And if you're new to the channel, what I do is a 6-card spread with an overall energy card and then an outcome card. And not much of a talker while I shuffle, but for those of you that are new, I do. Oh, okay. Both came out. I'm going to take it like this. This in the way that they came in the order. But yeah, I'm not much of a talker, but for those of you who are new, okay. What was I going to say? For those of you that are new, yeah, I normally don't say much when I shuffle. But you'll notice the music in the background. If you haven't been to my channel before this, I understand opera too. Okay. Double. Together or separate? Together or separate? Separate, okay. Thank you. But yeah, for those of you who are new to the channel, the opera music is there. I understand it may not be for some. It doesn't fit some people's taste, but for me, it just allows me to do these readings a little bit more smoothly. It allows me to just like kind of stay in this particular space that I'm in. 2, again, as the outcome. Came sideways. How do we want this? Up or down, please? Up, okay. So you got 2 in the outcomes. Well, that's interesting. And the bottom of the deck is going to be your overall energy, Taurus. Go ahead and flip these 2 cards here. Then I'll tune into your reading. But yeah, the music's for me. If it's not for you, I do apologize if it's not your cup of tea, so to speak. But it works for me, right? All right, Taurus, let's go ahead and get into this and see where you are. Where's Taurus coming in, please? Yeah, okay. All right. All right, Taurus, coming into May, I feel you're mostly hearing the 3 of Wands energy. And so you've got some things. Part of it is some of you have your cards on the table. Some of you, or you're in the process of laying your cards on the table for some of you. Others of you, you're waiting to realize or waiting to compromise. So that's a little heavy. Let's unpack that a little bit, okay? So Three of Wands is usually traditionally talking about someone waiting for their ships to come in. There's this man, he's standing on a cliff and he's overlooking the sea, and down in the water, it's not the greatest illustration, are some ships, some vessels out on the water. And he's waiting for them to come in. He's been waiting and waiting and waiting. You know, in modern day times, it's like you're waiting for that package that you order online, and you're just like watching you're waiting for the mailman to come down the street. You're waiting for the UPS van to come down your road or whatever, right? You've sent something out and you're waiting for it to come back to you. And interestingly enough, this has to do with other people, I think. You've put your money on the line for some of you. You've put actual money into something and you're waiting for it to return to you, or to bring a return to you. So some of you have invested, but some of you have invested through a third party. So an actual person, a broker, someone to manage your portfolio, what have you. Other people have put your money on someone in terms of you're taking a risk with someone. So in terms of a relationship or a partnership, you've invested not necessarily money, but you've invested time and effort, energy into a person, and you're waiting for it. You're waiting to see a return on your investment, whether that's actual money or if it's a little bit more figurative. And we're talking about, like I said, something about compromise. You know, maybe you've had to readjust your plans, because there's an idea of plans. There's an idea of like plotting here. You've plotted something, but then some of you had to restructure that plot, restructure that plan. And it was really, for a good many of you, it was really contingent on the involvement and the energy and the effort of someone else, which is very interesting because the Three of Wands is usually like a solo card, and there is only one person on this card, right? But because of what's going on around it, I'm feeling like that's not the case for some of you. You know, I think some of you have put your money in the hands or in the trust of someone else who acts on your behalf, like I said, trying to get you to build up your portfolio, investing money for you in the ways that you've asked them to. But, you know, you can say it, but whether someone else will actually execute the way that you want them to, you know, human beings are human beings. We're not robots, right? You could say, I want it this way, and then, you know, a person will do it slightly different. So that's sort of what's at stake here, is like, not only have you taken a risk yourself, because I think you would be sort of a self-sufficient energy, Taurus. You'd be someone who, you know, you are very capable of standing on your own 2 feet, and you're not afraid to do that. Like, you know, Taurus can be lazy, but you also can be hardworking. You have that sort of 50-50 shot, right? I mean, we all have 50-50 in a lot of things, but there's a sense of, I think in this, even though it's going to impact you, whatever this investment is, it will impact you, because you are the person who has put in the investment. You've put up the money, whether it's actual money or like actual revenue, or you've put up another type of investment. Maybe you've given someone a certain time. Maybe you've extended a deadline to someone. You know, maybe some of you are bosses or professors and you've given someone an extension on something. And that puts you on the line because you have people who look for who are waiting for you to meet your deadlines. And if you gave someone an extension on their deadline, that means you have to tell your boss or your dean or your chancellor or whoever, I can't fulfill my obligations because someone else hasn't fulfilled their obligations. So there's sort of like a passing the buck, or like you're tethered to someone else. This outcome, this return on the investment is somehow tethered to someone else. And I'm not sure that that's, I mean, I can't say for sure that it's going to go one way or the other, but what I feel is there's a definite feeling of risk involved. There's a definite, like, unsettled risk here. Like a crapshoot. Like a straight up crapshoot for some of you. And I think maybe some of you aren't seeing it as a crapshoot because you have some kind of faith here. The sun doesn't necessarily talk about faith, but it does talk about having a positive outlook. Seeing a situation and sort of being all smiles about it. Being sunny about it. Being positive minded and hopeful. It is a card associated with success. And it does link to another card that is associated with success or dreams coming true. But you'll notice, Taurus, that your top row is all upright and your bottom row is all reversed. So that to me means something on the surface looks good, but something underneath might not be so good. And I think it might be a diverging of energy. We're going to see. I think that up here is mostly you in the top row. You have your expectations, or you have your sort of anticipation, I should say, of your investment. You've put it out with good faith, feeling positive, feeling optimistic about the return or the reward or the outcome. You don't feel daunted by it. I don't think many of you feel cautious about what you've invested in. I don't think most of you went in with, sirens blaring, like, warning, warning, danger, Will Robinson. None of that was going on for most of you. I think that you went in thinking, I'm going to succeed. I'm going to get what I came here to get. I'm going to get what I want out of this situation. I'm going to be rewarded. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be fulfilled. It's going to lead to a dream come true. That's all you. This is you. This is your space up here. What's going on in the bottom is very interesting. Something is playing against you. Could be yourself. Could be a certain part of yourself, a compartmentalized persona, or not persona, but headspace, mindset. Excuse me. There's a dreamer here. You look out over the cliff, you're looking out over the sea, you see those ships, and you're like, man, is my Amazon package on one of those ships? Is my first quarterly return on one of those ships? Is the next level in my relationship, like, becoming more committed, getting engaged, getting married, having children, whatever, is it on those ships? And you feel positive about it. And it's going to be a dream come true. It's going to fulfill you in some kind of way. You feel great in this anticipation space, in this space of waiting, in this space of expectation, in this space of what's next. The wonderment or the unknown factor isn't shaking you. And not saying that it should. It's not phasing you. You like the idea of what's coming next. You like the idea of where's my package, where's my money, or how much am I going to get once the investment starts to pay off. You like this. You're anticipating it because you feel it's going to work out. It's going to make you happy. It's going to be a dream come true. And I'm pointing to this card. I don't think I showed it to you yet. The Ten of Cups plays definitely heavily along that top line there, that top row for you. Happy families are associated with this card. The idea of, not legacy, but having that fulfillment, having that emotional joy, and that rush of love and affection within a family dynamic, whatever your family dynamic is. If you're single, you've been single for a while and you're happy, that's happy family. You are your family. Or maybe you've got pets, so it's you and Mr. Doggy and Mrs. Kitty, whoever. That fulfills you, and that could be a dream come true. You're waiting for a particular package. You bought a cat condo, and you're waiting for it to come in the mail. Great. But there's something at odds with what you want. Something. Is it someone? Possibly. But it's definitely something. And it just might be out of your hands because you have the world in reverse, coming directly underneath your starting point. In Taurus, you're associated with this card. Other signs that are associated with this card are the fixed signs. So that's Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So someone of one of those signs might be significant. Not just yourself, but maybe someone else. But when the world is reversed, it means that there's a slow or a stop or a delay to a certain progression. Sort of like a do not pass go moment in the game of Monopoly. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe you're like expecting to round the corner. You're expecting to go past go. Go past the go square in the Monopoly board and collect your $200. But the world card is saying, you're not going that way. You will not collect $200. And I think normally when that happens in the game, I think you go to jail or you go to some other space that's like way, like halfway across the board, and you have to then go through the gauntlet of like Boardwalk and Park Place. You have to risk it again. So there's a setback for some of you. Well, not for some of you, most of you. There's a setback. A delay, a stoppage for some of you, just a complete stop. Now, if this is literally about a package, especially, this is a card of like travel or movement or indicates the world as in the globe. So something for some of you is a parcel package and it's stopped. It's delayed. Sorry. That sucks, especially when you're like really expecting it. But for others of you, it's just in terms of that investment. There's a hold up with money. You're not going to get all that you thought you were going to get. You're going to lose out on something. You're going to lose. Or it could be, and I'm not a financial person at all, so don't quote me, don't take financial advice from me, but for some of you where you have invested money, where you've paid out and you're expecting to get back due to interest, due to sales, due to stock pricing, whatever. For some of you, I think like there's going to be like for lack of a better phrase, like a hidden fee that you didn't anticipate, that you weren't informed of, that you didn't have ample understanding about. And so you're not going to get as much money as you thought you were going to get. You're going to come up short, is how that's coming out. It's going to come up short. So in terms of money, you have this sunny disposition, you have this hopefulness, but the actual payout is just going to be less. I don't think it's going to be incredibly less, but it's going to be noticeably less. Now, or delays. So the money that you've been expecting is not going to hit your bank account when you think it is. It's going to come like 2 weeks later because, it's your first time doing this and there's like a wait period for new accounts, blah, 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 blah. wasn't explained to you when you started up doing this investing stuff. Wasn't explained to you when you decided to expand your portfolio, whatever it is. So it's mostly a delay energy with the World card in reverse. The stop is more about something's in transit and it's not actually moving forward. So for, again, deliveries, like those in the mail, those by UPS, there's a stop. It's stuck at the Dallas hub and it's not going anywhere. Okay? Now, is there any potential of a relationship here? Yes. Yes. Okay. Now, for some of you, where this is hitting in your relationship sector, you've invested with your partner. Your spirit is how that came out. Your spirit, your faith, your dreams. You've doubled down. Some of you have doubled down on your investment with your partner. Now, and that's coming through the Wands energy. So what is Wands? Wands is, like I said, about your spirit, your life force, what drives you, what motivates you. Some might even associate it with your soul or your life energy, your vitality. So some of you are just plain out putting in so much more effort than your partner. Not putting in so much more, but you double down on your effort with your partner. Whereas coming in previous times to May, maybe earlier in 2018, whenever, you were possibly going to not reinvest, so to speak, reinvest with your partner, or you weren't going to give more than what you had been giving before. Now you're saying, you know what, I'm going to do it. Double down. So you're going to match what you've been putting into this relationship already, or you're going to increase on what you have put in. And you are hopeful. You are optimistic about it because you have this as your goal. This is where you want to end up. Progression. This is a progression line for you, Taurus. Now your partner or the circumstances are playing against you, more so in the World card. I think that your expectations might not be met as within a certain time frame that you have for yourself, or it's not being met as quickly as you wanted it to be. So maybe for you, your thing was, okay, I'm going to spend more time at home. You know, my sweetheart said I was spending too much time at work, or I was taking on too much time at work. So I'm going to do half time now, where half time I'm in the office, half time I'm at home. Like I'm working remotely from home. So that, you know, when my partner is home by 4 o'clock, I'll already be home and we'll be able to spend time together. That's your compromise. That's what you've invested in. You've changed how you show up in the relationship. The world in reverse says, not that you've wasted that energy or you've wasted that change or that compromise, but it's just not going to be received the way that you think. It's not going to be appreciated the way that you would want it to be appreciated. A lot of times I think Taurus wants to be acknowledged for the work that they do, which is fair. We all want that to a certain degree. We all want that. But I think that, like I said, the expectation is like, there's a disconnect. How's that fit with the partner? How does the world fit with the partner? Where's the partner here? Here and here, for sure. But here. Okay. So, sticking with partnerships. And again, I'm saying partnership and I'm kind of, you know, augmenting it to the point where it sounds like a love relationship. This could be a partnership as far as like roommates. You know, your roommate wants to spend more time with you, or your roommate wants you to be in the home more so that you can take care of XYZ around the apartment. It could be, you know, your family, whoever it is, in terms of partnerships. Now, whoever this is, romantic partnership or not, they are the Queen of Swords and the Two of Pentacles in reverse. All right. So quickly out of the way, if it's a Queen of Swords, it might be an air sign, so that's Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. If it's not one of those signs, don't worry about it. Don't force anything in this reading if it doesn't fit your life. Now, this person, they are not able and or willing to play ball with you. They're not able and or willing to see things from your point of view. They are in their own world, in their own head, dealing with their own problems. And it's all kinds of messed up in the sense of a perspective. Their perspective is not yours. Again, I mentioned it earlier in the reading. All yours are on the top row are upside right. All of those in the bottom row are reversed. So if your partner, whoever they may be, is here, I don't think that they're seeing things the same way that you're seeing things. They lack clarity. They lack focus. They lack direction. They lack motivation. They don't have all their ducks in a row. And that is because they haven't progressed, finalized something on their end. Oh boy, wow, okay. So, let's break these down one by one, okay? So let's start with the Two of Pentacles with your partner side, because that's where I feel they're mostly in these two cards and a little bit in the World card, but you share that with them. Now, Two of Pentacles in reverse, being in between two choices, right? And when it's upright, that's what that means. But when it's like this, I think it's like ignoring it. Or stalling it. Stalling. Because when it's upright, it's like saying, I'm going to choose. I have to choose. I need to come to some kind of conclusion with this seesaw thing that's going on, right? Which can go on forever with that infinity symbol that it makes in his hands, right? When it's like this, it's like it's that same thing, but it's pretending that that's not going on, pretending that you don't have to choose, pretending that you don't have to put up or shut up, that you don't have to put in a hard day's work or something like that. There's this idea of something has to be changed, altered, something has to be decided upon, something has to stop, something has to begin. And this is just saying, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't recognize that that's the issue at hand here. Someone is playing dumb when it's like this, when this person shows up like this. Playing dumb. As if you guys didn't discuss who's gonna do this around the house, who's gonna do that around the house. Who's going to take care of the grocery shopping? Who's going to take care of the laundry? Pretending that this conversation never happened. Pretending that we didn't say we need to find a compromise. We need to make a negotiation on something. Someone is acting like the need to choose, the need to find balance isn't paramount. Pretending. False. Also here in the Queen of Swords, lacking clarity. Being, the word coming across as demonstrative, but not, like being aggressive, being manipulative, being a bitch. Someone's being a bitch. Because they don't have a clarity. They don't have clarity for themselves. Their head is not on right. God, this is very brutal, is how all of this is coming through in my mind. If someone is treating you or behaving in kind of a cold, bitchy way to you, someone's acting aloof, acting like you guys don't have a situation on your hands, that there's things that you haven't discussed, like they're pretending discussions didn't happen, they're pretending that the agreement to compromise didn't happen. If they're doing that, it's because they don't know what's going on with themselves. How they're treating you is how they are in some way, probably very silently and internally treating themselves. Or they're just taking it out on you. If they're acting all fine and dandy to themselves, you're basically catching their wrath, catching their bad side, catching the worst parts of them. And it's because they don't have clarity. They don't know what they want. Queen of Swords, when she's upright, she's decisive. She might still be cold and aloof and a little calculating and maybe a little bitchy, but she is on a trajectory. She has her sights set. She knows where she is. She knows where she's going. When she's reversed, not true. Doesn't have that. Doesn't have that perspective, that clear line of sight. Someone is going through something. I don't know what it is, but it's to do with something that's bigger than them. Because again, we're talking about the world, right? Versus a Two of Pentacles and a Queen of Swords. Now, if you think about literally two people on the earth versus the world, the globe, it's like two specks of sand versus, I don't know. It's just, I don't really know how to convey that, but it's this idea of something being really small, really tiny, teeny tiny, having to find its way through or find a clear perspective in a huge, vast, and expansive landscape. It's very hard. And maybe that has something to do with it. Like maybe somebody's having sort of like a existential crisis, They're like trying to understand their own self-worth or something, or understand their own role in this world, their own world in the galaxy, in the universe, in the cosmos, whatever. But they haven't faced it. That's what they should do, but they haven't faced it, and they're not able to get clear. There's a lack of clarity here. And I feel bad because you have such high expectations and you have such optimism about it and you have such a clear goal, Taurus. And I'm not sure if this is involved in the aspects in where other people are involved, especially in partnerships. In terms of personal finances, this is maybe, let's go back to that for those of you where you've invested in something, because that came out very strongly in the beginning of this reading about investing financially and expecting a return, right? Now, let's go back to that really quickly. You might have someone who's not above board, like maybe they needed to renew a license, or maybe they needed to get a certain certification, or maybe they had to clear a certain channel, they needed to submit a certain form on your behalf, and they didn't do it. But they're pretending like they didn't do it, or they're pretending like they have time to make that up. But, there's something about telling you one thing, but knowing the truth, and knowing the truth is something else. And that's uncouth. That lacks tact, that lacks responsibility, that lacks professionalism. All the things that the Queen of Swords would be in reverse. Uncouth. Unprofessional. Unpolished, and deceitful, because they know. And that might have something to do with the world. So maybe if you are trading, I don't know much about finances, but maybe you're trading with international currencies, and there are certain hoops and there are certain regulations that you have to go through, that you have to make sure you're, minding your P's and Q's, dotting your I's, crossing your T's, all of that kind of stuff. and you've invested your money with someone, or you've entrusted your money to be handled by someone who didn't do that, who didn't realize, oh, when we do business with South Korea, we have to do it this way. Oh, I'm used to trading, or I'm used to doing business in North America, but now that I'm dealing with South Korea, oh, I needed to do this, this, and this, and this, which would explain the world, you know, dealing with foreign countries. But they didn't do it right. And you're going to suffer for it. You're not going to get as much back as you thought you were going to, based on their inability, again, unable and or unwilling to do it right. Wow. Now, in your outcome for May, Taurus, you have two cards that came out. You have the Five of Swords and the Four of Wands upright. Now, I think, whose is it? Someone's walking away. One or two people are walking away while somebody is remaining, quote unquote, victorious with those pair of swords. Well, no, three swords, excuse me, in the Five of Swords card. So I think somebody feels victorious, because this is again about sort of a false victory, or nobody really wins, you know, everybody loses card, you know. I think somebody feels like they've gotten away with something by perpetuating something. Gosh, what does that mean? So, somebody is sort of spinning yarn around you. I don't think it's you. If you're in your own outcome, I think you're in the Four of Wands. We'll get to that. So I think this is mostly someone else, or the circumstance that you're going to find yourself in. Somebody's spinning yarn. Somebody's telling you what you want to hear. Somebody's putting you off, like delaying the truth from you, which is not a win. It's not a win. If you say, oh, you know, if you email the guy or the person who you sent your money to be invested with, you're like, hey, you know, blah, blah, blah. You said I could expect to hear from you, you know, beginning or mid-May. And it gets to be the third or fourth week in May, and you email this person, and you're like, hey, what's up? I expected to hear from you like a week ago about what's going on with my money. Please tell me what's up. And they're going to be like, oh, I was out of the office. I was out of the country. I didn't have so-and-so contact me, and I'm just waiting on word from them. I'm waiting on word from this business. I'm waiting on word from this corporation. Blah, 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 blah. Stall tactics. Stalling you. Spinning a ball of yarn for you. Delaying the truth. Feels like a win to them because they didn't have to tell you they lost, you know, a quarter of your money because they didn't do something on their end. They didn't have to tell you that it's going to cost more to do something because there were unexpected fees, or there were fees that they needed to pay that they didn't, you know, whatever. It's the fault is theirs. But in not telling you when you ask them, they feel victorious. They feel as though they've dodged a bullet. But of course, all that stuff comes out in the end, right? You're going to find out eventually. You're going to be able to go back and check the books, check the paper trail, check everything, and realize, wait a minute, there's an extra $1,200 missing here, Sally. What's up with that? And Sally's going to be like, oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you. And I'm going to play it off like it was no big thing, when you're going to be able to go back in the timeline and be like, okay, Sally, but if you had done XYZ, I wouldn't be out $1,200 right now. So you owe me $1,200, or, you know, you're going to speak to my lawyer. It's going to turn into something more. If it's partnerships, not to do with finances, someone is spinning yarn and telling you, I got you. You didn't pick up the lawn, or you didn't pick up the dry cleaning. I thought you were going to pick that up. Oh, I forgot. I thought I had to pick it up on Thursday. Blah, blah, blah. Or I thought I picked it up on Thursday. Or, oh, blah, blah, blah. Or didn't I? And they're going to tell you, oh, I thought you dropped it off at this particular dry cleaning place. You're like, no, I dropped off at the place on 5th. 5th? I thought you said 6th. I was all up and down 6th Street looking for the place. They didn't go anywhere. They never attempted to go get the dry cleaning. They're lying. Stalling you. Making you think that they're just as involved in this partnership, that they care just as much as you do about the outcome, the happy outcome, which is what you want, the 4 of Wands, the 10 of Cups, which is what you have your eyes set on, Taurus. They are telling you that they're just as committed to that dream, to that wish, to that outcome, and they're not. They are not. They're turned away from it. This guy, this smug winner, quote-unquote winner, his back is to the 4 of Wands. He's not even looking at that. That doesn't even exist on his radar. Now, where you come in your own outcome is that 4 of Wands. This is you all day, Taurus. You're like, yes, I want to be happy. Yes, I want my dreams. Yes, I want a happy family. Yes, I want stability. But somebody is right next to you, intimately involved with you. Not necessarily in a sexual or romantic way, but intimate as far as trust. You trust this person, and they're not doing you right. You have faith in them, and this is all them. 1, 2, 3, 4. You share the world a little bit, because this is a major arcana, and it's influencing you as it's connected here in this corner. But they also share it, but in a different way, as I explained earlier. Taurus. Get wise. That's what came in. Wake up. Smell all the coffee. Okay? You can still be a dreamer. Not naively, but you can still hope and have optimism and dream for the happy family and have your dreams come true and want stability. Continue down that road, but be careful in discerning about the people who you keep close to you and who you trust. Not reevaluate, but do a checkup, do a check-in. Really, really consider and note the details of how this person behaves towards you, how they speak to you, when they speak to you, the words they use, the mode of communication they choose, because Queen of Swords energy, talks about communication. Can you not get them on the phone? Do they not do FaceTime? They don't Skype? They only talk to you through text or email? They don't want you to hear their voice? They don't want you to see their face? Think about that. Now, what's your overall energy for May? Taurus is Temperance. So have discerning energy. Temperance is about seeing the full scope of things, having a balanced perspective, being able to see the good and the bad. So yes, they're telling you sweet nothings. Oh, baby, I love you. I'm sorry about the dry cleaning thing. Oh, don't worry about such and such thing. I'm just waiting for a form from the bank. Blah, blah, blah. That's your financial advisor or whoever you're working with, right? Sweet talking you. That's nice. It keeps you happy. Keeps you not suspicious, and it makes you feel good. Like, even if they've made a mistake, they're assuring you things are going to be better the next time. Makes you feel good. Find the perspective in that. We agreed that by Wednesday, you would have this form sent to me so that I could talk to my bank and get things coordinated. We agreed that you would pick up the dry cleaning on Thursday because I have such a busy schedule on Friday. Now I have to get up early in the morning on Friday to go get the dry cleaning instead of having everything in the house already. Think about how this inconvenience is not only inconvenient, it's sort of a violation of the compromise and the negotiation and the bottom line that you both agreed on. We agreed on a deadline. We agreed that you would do this by this date. You didn't do it. Hold them accountable. Or hold yourself accountable. Are you going to put up with that? Are you going to allow them to just smooth it over with a, oh baby, I'm so sorry, or I apologize for this. This is not how I want you to know. I'm assuring you this is not how I conduct business regularly. Are you going to let them smooth talk you? No. Don't let them smooth talk you. And like I said, swords is about communication. So that would be their aim. Their aim would be to talk you out of being suspicious. All right, sorry about that, Taurus. I have got to get better storage for this camera. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so be discerning, right? Find balance and some kind of system of accountability within yourself. Don't co-sign. And was that you last month in April where I had to talk to you about this? Don't co-sign on anybody else's deceit. Okay? If someone intends to deceive you, tends to put you off, tends to try and play like they don't know what's going on, or they don't see the issue that you see, or, oh, we just have a misunderstanding here. They want to play it down. They want to play down the severity of the situation. That can only fly if you allow it to fly, if you clear it to take off from the tarmac, okay? Don't co-sign on your own deceit, Taurus. And you have a tendency to do that because I think that you believe, especially when people are close to you. Again, it doesn't have to be romance. It doesn't have to be family. It can be someone in a business sense that you trust. But when you build trust with someone, you give it so fully. You give it so fully that sometimes you could come out looking like a fool. Okay, and I don't want you to do that. All right? Nobody wants anybody to be a fool. Nobody wants that. But there's this idea that there's such a strong purpose or line of intention here. It's what the kids call pure, right? It's so pure, too pure for this world, right? Not innocent either. It's not naive. There is some sense of awareness within you, but it sort of has this hard stop, or like a do not enter sign. There's like a there's like a quarantine section, or like a section that's sort of like there's like a boundary you can't go past, which is not true. You can, when you trust someone, not trust them blindly. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I have friends, I trust them heaps, loads, so much in my friends that I would just not even think about giving them money or doing them certain favors or allowing them to stay with me for a certain period of time. I have such trust in my friends that I would allow these things to happen. But if they do not meet certain criteria, if they go back on certain promises or certain things that we decided to compromise on, if they don't communicate clearly with me, or they communicate in only certain ways with me, like I said before, if you don't want to talk on the phone, you don't want to FaceTime, you don't want to Skype, you don't want to meet up for coffee, you only want to talk through text or email, that's a little suspicious. Why don't you want to talk to me, quote unquote, face to face, or to the point where I can hear your voice or I can see your face? Something's off there. And even my best friend, if that suddenly became the way that we communicated, something's not right. And my trust, I will begin to guard it. I'll pull it back a little bit. Me, personally. And I think that's what the Temperance card would be advising you to do. Be cautious. Be discerning. Reevaluate. Go back and review the criteria of what it takes to be your friend, what it takes to be your financial advisor, what it takes to be your boyfriend or girlfriend, what it takes to be your best friend, what it takes to be a good sister or a good brother or a good cousin or whoever you're involved with. This is in terms of the partnerships that you have in your life, that you have established, that you're working on, that means something to you. If certain people aren't hitting the criteria, or they're bending it, or they're stepping outside of it, or they're sidestepping it, blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Okay? There's nothing wrong with self-preservation. You know that. I don't have to tell you that. You know that. You just, sometimes you forget. Sometimes you get a little, you go off and you kind of get so heavily invested in other people and you trust them a little too much sometimes. But that's just my advice. That's just what I'm saying. You do not have to listen to me. You do not have to listen to these cards. And if none of this applies to your life, please don't force it, okay? But if it did resonate at all, like I said, be cautious, okay? All right, Taurus, I want to thank you for watching your general video, or excuse me, your general reading for May 2018. I hope something did resonate here. If it did, go ahead and leave a comment and how it is playing out in your life. I would love to read about it, would love to hear about it. Feel free to like and share the video and also subscribe to the channel if you're not already. That would be amazing, but only do any of those things if you feel compelled to do them. If you're not compelled, I thank you for watching anyway. Again, go ahead and check in the description box or the about page if you're interested in a personal reading from me. I would love to set something up with you if you're wanting to get that going. And I look forward to seeing you again when I come back in June and do your general readings for that month, okay? Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Bye.